Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Minot Sports Podcast. It's a great day, a nice, beautiful, sunny day here in the Magic City, and we're glad to be back here in the studios. One of the very few episodes we have remaining in the Swain Hall studios until we move back into the brand new, fully renovated Hartnett studios, but just want to welcome you guys back in here. Of course, I'm your host, Cole Clementich, proud to bring you guys another episode talking Minot sports. And with that, a new phenomenon. We saw last year the debut of the Minot Hot Tots and the Northwoods League in their 30th season of action. Well, now you can input softball into the equation with the brand new club, the Minot Honeybees, set to make their debut at Corbett Field this upcoming Saturday. And joining me now is the coaching staff with the Minot Honeybees. We have a Craig Montvidas, the head coach, and assistant coach Zoya Robbins, also with Minot State Connections. Guys, pleasure to have you on board here on the podcast. How are you guys doing?
Thank you, Cole. Thanks for having us on the broadcast. We're doing fine.
Awesome. Well, it's a great pleasure, again, like always, to have you guys on. So, Coach, just kind of talk about, obviously, this is really a new thing, a first of its kind deal where, I'm not even sure if we've seen anything like this before. Now, this might be a little bit of a kind of long-winded question, out of sorts, but talk about how what of course we brought you here to Minot, the team did, but just kind of tell us, what do you bring with the team, and talk about this experience, with this new opportunity. Have you seen something like this before? And if you have, just kind of tell us, how does that experience previous help you in this situation?
Sure. Thank you for the opportunity. The Northwoods League with baseball has been very successful. It has grown and grown and continues to grow. And I think the owners put their heads together and thought, hey, this works for baseball. This could work for softball as well. And women's sports needs all the help it can get. And this is just a wonderful opportunity to promote softball. And all the teams that are involved at the moment are going through some of the growing pains that we've experienced as well. But everybody's on board. Everyone's enthusiastic, and I'm sure with hard work and dedication and the passion for the game, this is going to grow, and it's going to be as big as the baseball. It's just going to take some time.
And you said it there. I mean, let's just stay on the subject of women's sports. Like you said, it's growing, and there's a lot more opportunities out there nowadays, and there's a lot more just widespread coverage, a lot more, I guess, TV deals, TV broadcasts, TV opportunities, more clicks on social media, more likes, more reposting or retweeting, I guess. Just really, when you see this all go down, and we'll get to the Honeybees here in a little bit, but when you see this all go down, mix that in with this new Northwoods League softball opportunity, like, just how awesome is it for all the girls, just to see this, you from a coaching perspective, like, how much do you push, just everyone to get involved, whether it's your players or from the other team?
I think the passion that everyone has for our sport, because it is a great sport. It's very exciting. It's very quick. And speaking from a male standpoint, I just really think it's great that women are getting the opportunity. Having said that, I think there's such a long, long, long way to go. We are making strides, but maybe Zoya, as a female, can answer that question from her perspective and how she's viewed that, growing up as an athlete herself and now into coaching, and what she's seen develop over the last few years.
Yeah, Zoya, let's bring you into this equation, because of course we have both you guys on. Very fortunate for that. Just kind of tell us, growing up, obviously you having played at Minot State here for a while, just kind of tell us from your standpoint, how awesome is it to see this?
Yeah, I was very grateful and surprised when the Northwoods League finally made the decision to include softball, and I was I'm an emotional being, and so I was like almost to tears when I found out that Minot, the Magic City where I got to play my collegiate career, was bringing this opportunity to the Magic City. It's something that's been, what is the word? We've wanted it for so long, and I'm just very grateful to be a part of it. And aside from that, women's sports in general are finally getting the attention that we have always deserved. And so I'm just really happy to be a part of something historic and something that deserves just as much attention as every other women's sport.
And let's dive into that right now. 4 teams making up the Northwoods League softball aspect. Of course, the Minot Honeybees. There's also the Mankato Habaneros, the Madison Nightmares, and the Lacrosse Steams. So still very early on. I'm already seeing comments on Facebook saying, hey, you guys got to get more teams than that. You know, what are we doing? But it's like you said, Coach Montvidas, it takes time, and it's going to grow. Obviously, it's not going to stay that way, but just starting off with this 4-team field, talk about, we'll include both you guys in this experience. You guys are through the first couple games so far, the first couple series, mind you, 2 doubleheaders and one against the Lacrosse team yesterday. Just, talk about, how's this season been going for you guys? Just kind of, is it still ironing out some things, or has it been, what you've been kind of expected so far?
Okay, to your original question, the 4 teams, that is true, and that's kind of a detriment to having a good league competition. But to our knowledge, there are 4 or 5 other organizations that have already signed on for next year. So
wow.
the Northwoods League is committed. You can look at it at 2 ways. Negatively, that there are only 4 teams, but in a positive manner that all the bumps and bruises and the learning curve that is involved in running a league like this, all of the other teams are going through that as well. The people switching from baseball to softball, 2 different sports, are going to get a lot of experience. And our goal as coaches is to make this an enjoyable experience for the players and the fans, that they can go out and tell other people. And as that happens, the quality of play will continue to rise. Attendance will grow. And it's just going to take a little bit of time. So from that perspective, people are correct. 4 teams doesn't sound like much, but it is a few of the other cities have already signed contracts for 2025, so that's a positive. As far as the team goes, we're off to a little bit of a rocky start. One of our 5 games, and we're having a little bit of difficulty right now with the pitching. That's been our main issue, and a couple of mistakes at crucial times. We have a young team, but we have the same things, no excuses that the other teams are going through. We just have to play a little bit better. The results could be there. I think what's unusual is that in most of the games we've out-hit our opponents, so the offense has been there. It's just a question now of clearing up a few defensive deficiencies and improving our pitching with less walks, and I think we'll be in every game and be competitive. So we're on the right track.
Anything to add to that, Zoya, before we get to the next question?
No, I agree with Coach Craig. It's an interesting experience so far, but at the end of the day, the girls are competing, and that's all I can ask for.
Awesome. And you mentioned attendance numbers somewhere in there, Coach Craig. I believe it was around 2,000 people for the very first game, the inaugural game of Northwoods League Softball, which I think took place in Madison between the Steam and the Nightmares. Just seeing from a long-range perspective, not being involved with that game in particular, just talk about, really see all that support and all the bodies in those seats. Like that had to have been really cool to see.
Yeah, I think for a number of players who have never had the opportunity to play before that many people, that was certainly a great experience. And that's the direction the league wants to go. Right now they're focusing on several key games or several key moments where they can add more fans. So there will be games where there won't be a big crowd, but there'll be a number of games where the promotion is over the top in a good way, and that's when we'll get some really good crowds. So that's you get 2,000 people at a game in a new sport. That's pretty cool.
And Corbett Field this summer is going to have that opportunity to host such large crowds. If you guys just want to chime in, with the idea that you guys will be playing at a baseball park, but what's really nice is that it can be easily converted into, well, I don't know if it's easier said than done, but it can be converted into a softball diamond. Just kind of talk. How different is it seeing it from that vantage point? Like, what if the practices have been like at Corbett, and obviously I assume you guys have been able to make it work, but just playing on a baseball surface, as opposed to like a natural softball pitch, like just try to talk about that a little bit. How interesting can it be?
Just as somebody who has played on turf and on dirt, and has never played on a baseball field, I was very excited actually to hear that we were going to be playing at Corbett. This was before that I knew that the mound wasn't removable, the baseball mound. That's really the only interesting and maybe challenging part of being on a baseball field. Other than that, the girls have adjusted really well, and I think that at the forefront of the goals of the league, it's more about the experience, and if we can provide the experience to fans and it has to be at a baseball field, I think that's something that the Northwoods League and teams are willing to do. And I think that all the girls are going to adjust, and as the league grows, maybe we can, take the teams to more traditional softball fields when we create our fan bases that are willing to travel and be at these softball fields instead of baseball fields. But as far as the structure of the field, it's just ginormous. That's the only thing.
Oh, yeah.
The girls, when they're going for foul balls, there's so much more room for them to play. And then, the pitching part, it's just adjusting to your surroundings, which I think everyone in the league has done really well so far.
Yeah, there are some positives to it. I just think in my head, I think it's the celebrity softball game at the Major League Baseball All-Star Weekend. I'm pretty sure they convert that into a sizable softball field. So kind of a similar deal as far as makeup of how the playing surface is made. But no, it's there's gonna be a lot more room. Obviously, like we mentioned earlier, nothing's going to be stagnant. Of course, there's going to be room for improvement. Not to say they won't make any changes, or they will make any changes depending on what it is. It's all like first year. There's always going to be, but lots of things to be had. But like you said, Zoya, playing on a baseball surface, more space, and just playing in front of a big crowd, with all the grandstands and the first and third base side, like the Hot Tots, Coach Montvidas, just talk about, and you can be included in this too, Zoya. Just talk how awesome, or tell us the impression that the Hot Tots gave you, the management, the Honeybees. Of course, they're all under one ownership and management umbrella. When they approached you guys, just tell us all how that came together.
Sure. Actually, I saw an advertisement on the NFCA site. That's the National Fast Pitch Coaches Association, which I am a member of. And it just talked about the new league. And I myself, living in the Netherlands, was quite interested just to find out more about this. So I made a phone call and spoke with Director of Operations from the Minot Honeybees, and we had a good conversation of what are some possibilities of maybe sending players from Europe to the United States, or vice versa, or same with coaches. And one talk led to another, and before I knew it, we were in the negotiating period of how would you like to coach the team. And I just saw this as a really unique opportunity. And right from the beginning, in our first telephone conversations, I just had a really good feeling. These are fun people, friendly people, very focused and very professional. So it was just check the box on a number of items that made it intriguing for me to join such an adventure. And I had the opportunity to fly over in April, meet everyone within the organization, and just saw how the hot tots were also working since we arrived in early June. And it was just a really good vibe. And as I said, a lot of fun, but in a professional manner, and just giving the fans an evening of entertainment. So my experience has been nothing but positive. A great organization, and as far as that goes, we might be at the bottom of the standings right now, but I think we're at the top of the standings as far as the Minot organization. Really happy to be here.
And really all credit to Monica and staff, as they've done such a wonderful job, of course, managing the Hot Tots, and now being the catalyst for this new softball team with the Honeybees. And I'm right there with you, Coach. There have been a lot of great experiences. Kind of working closely with them. Obviously, I'm kind of more on a freelance basis, but they make the game day experience well worth it. Even just for the common fan, and for the players, the coaching staff as well. And you mentioned earlier, Coach, being from overseas and coaching over there. I'd like to get into the topic of managing the personalities, because you look at this roster and there's a lot of different. Obviously, everyone's from different schools, from different parts of the world, but you see like there's a D1 school in there. Then you go down the list, there's a couple NAIA or NGCAA schools, and then a couple D2s in there. Obviously, Minot State having a few representatives on the team. But just from those different backgrounds, just talk about how have you been able to connect with the players, and just kind of get them all into the same mindset, and just overall have a good summer this upcoming season.
Yeah, I think what's interesting about our team, and you kind of mentioned that we have players from, I believe, 11 or 12 different states, more than any other team in the league. And we also have some homegrown players from North Dakota, which makes it really enjoyable. And it's a wide variety, as you mentioned, different levels of play. And that's something that we as coaches are striving to put together a team unity. And I found that to be quite successful, actually, the first 2 weeks that we've been together. The girls are gelling. Everyone's getting to know everyone. That takes some time. And that's been a positive experience. So everyone's sharing their different backgrounds. We've had some team building moments, and a lot of laughs, some disappointment. When you're out on the field, you want to win. But one thing we have noticed in the games, we've been behind several times, and we've been able to fight back and get close. And we're pretty confident we're close to turning the corner.
I'll ask this for Zoya, to see two Minot State players out there, and both of them pitchers. One of them can kind of play a little bit of everything. Just talk about how cool was that to see them join the team?
I was really excited. Jasmine Blizzard is someone who I have got to play with actually at Minot State, so being able to coach her has been awesome. And then Kira Fournier, I was their graduate assistant at Minot State her freshman year, and she just has so much talent, and they both do. And it's just awesome to see, Minot State players being able to play in front of their home crowd. I'm really excited for the 25th of June so that they can get all their fans there. Minot State is a part of a really competitive conference, and so I'm glad that they get to showcase not only Minot State's talent, but the conference's talent. I'm really happy to have them here. They're my players, but I would also consider them my friends as well. I've known them for quite a while, and I'm just really proud of them.
That's really cool to see. Just to see it from all kinds of perspectives. It can change in a hurry like that, and going from players to now coach player to down the line, maybe you guys might find yourselves coaching the same team or coaching against each other, but just having those connections, it's what makes this field so amazing, is all the connections that you make and, just the wonderful people that you meet in and around the industry. And, that's going to build, lifelong memories. For how long this summer goes, even with the season going as long as 40 games, just talk about, to be able to, for these players to, have these connections in their back pocket, obviously dating back. So when Minot had the Souris Valley Saberdogs predating the Hot Tots, like these guys, like and it still happens today, even with the Hot Tots, like these guys, they're just, all happy-go-lucky. They're always, supporting each other, and you see them, commenting on each other's social media posts like Instagram or Facebook or whatnot. The support is there, and do you think there's really like real lifelong friendships to be had, even if it's a short period of time?
That's something that remains to be seen, but what I've seen from the first 2 weeks, I think that's definitely going to happen. I think all players in all sports, even coaches, have experienced that in the past, and I really don't see this situation being any different. This is kind of special, and even though it is a 10-week period, I think people are going to look back on this and remember it as a really cool summer. I think most of us were not expecting to spend our summer in North Dakota, but having said that, it's been really cool. So, I see friendships from this group. I can foresee that happening down the road.
No, that's awesome, and we're definitely looking forward to this home opener. And yeah, of course, it may seem like a short period of time, but the season feels like it goes long too. So I think there's even with all the North Dakota girls interlocked with each other on the same summer ball club, there's gonna be times where they recall each other from their playing days or something, or whatever it is. And I think that is totally valid. Obviously, still early on in the process, but it's still a long season. But coming up ahead here versus Madison, June 25th, the home opener. Guys, how excited are you for this ruckus home crowd? And I hear a couple grandstands might be sold out already. I'm not sure, but just talk about what do you guys, obviously the event itself, but what else are you most looking forward to with this home opener? So just talk about obviously the event itself with the home opener versus Madison, June 25th. Just talk obviously the whole camaraderie, the whole showing is going to be something to behold. But what are you also looking forward to with this opening day, or is it just the event itself?
What I'm most looking forward to for the opening day is kind of the magic that's going to be brought back to the Magic City. Win or lose, I think that it's going to be a really competitive series, and I'm also really grateful that we get to play Madison on the road 3 times before we even see them at home. That's going to be a huge benefit, a huge plus for us as far as game plan goes. But I think that a huge benefit as well was being on the road and the girls kind of getting out those first game jitters out and playing in front of a few more people than they're used to before we're at home in front of such a large crowd. I'm excited because we're finally going to be in front of a home crowd, people that are there cheering for us and not against us, so that's going to be awesome. And I think that the girls are going to embrace it, and I think that the community is really going to show up for us, and that's all we can ask. And so if they show up for us, we're going to show up for them. I'm really excited.
Anything to add there, Coach Craig?
No, I think Zoya nailed it. We're excited. We're very excited. Just the idea of having fans cheer for you. And I think the stadium is conducive to that kind of atmosphere. Cozy. And as we have attended some of the Hot Tots game, it can get nasty there. So that'll definitely be a benefit being the home team instead of on the road.
And speaking of being at home versus on the road, you guys actually picked up your first win in team history back on Sunday, the second game of a doubleheader. I'll get more into that here in a second, because I want to mention that a lot of these are played in doubleheaders or series, and for me, being in this industry, like when I get into a broadcast or like I'm about to call a game, what I find funny is that my first game calling it usually doesn't go well, but the second time it does. And does for you guys from a coaching perspective, like, does that help in a way, like to be able to get a second game? Of course, obviously, it gives the players more playing time, and there's a lot of rest in between at bats, or even just playing out in the outfield or infield on defense. But all these extra reps, what do you guys? How do you like the doubleheader aspect? Obviously, it is common in college softball or anywhere you go, but do you guys see that as a benefit?
I don't know if particularly that was a benefit opening day, because we left at 4:00 in the morning.
So timing thing, yeah.
We had a nasty bus trip with no experience of playing together as a team in this kind of competition, and obviously no excuses. You go out, you get on the field, you do what you have to do. The first game was a little bit rocky, but as I mentioned previously, you have a half hour in between games, get a new mindset, and we came back out and we did win that second game. And this is a very, very long day. Plus, we were playing in 90-degree plus heat. Now, both teams, the umpires, the fans, everybody got to endure that. So that was a really good moment for us. The doubleheader, sometimes it works to your advantage. Sometimes it can be, the other team has the momentum and that carries over into the second game. So we'll have to see how that goes. We do have several doubleheaders scheduled during the season, but as you said, that is a normal part of our sport.
Yeah, and we'll get into this first win for you guys, like I mentioned earlier, on June 16th, back on Sunday. How cool was that to get the first win, just right into the history books?
Yeah, like I said earlier, it's an emotional experience for me just to see how this is all coming together, because even with a loss, I was just so proud to be a part of something so special. And so when you win, you just kind of like feel so much positivity. You feel like, okay, yes, our team's gelling together. Like, yes, we can compete. Yes, we can win. And I think it helps with the players' confidence as well. Being able to win that first game, I think, helped the players, because, when you get punched in the face, you want to figure out how you can get back up. And I feel like that gave them a bit more confidence, that first win. Since then, obviously, it's been a little bit rough, but I do think that they can see how well that they can compete. And I think that it'll turn into some wins very, very soon once we, just kind of all get on the same page.
And you mentioned, just to be able to compete and being on the same page. I'm kind of reiterating what you said there, Zoya. I've always asked in the past with coaches, like, do you guys really have any team expectations? But really, at the same time, that like it's not their, well, it is in a way that kind of their adopted home team, if you will. But these girls, they all come from, again, different backgrounds, different schools, but their mainstays are where they play during the spring. This is kind of like an extra sweetener, if you will. A little honey reference there. Just to kind of talk, like, if I had one way to word this, like, are there really any expectations, or is this just tell the girls? Well, obviously, competing, getting on the same page aside, is like, are there any individual expectations? Do the girls like have any personal goals this summer? Obviously to get extra playing time, of course, and just hone in on their craft is really the big thing. But do you guys really have any expectations? Just kind of touch up on that.
as a developmental league, our main goal is to develop these players into better players before they head back to college. As far as player expectations go, it's been really cool. Coach Craig is really big on things like that, and we have allowed our players to write down expectations of their teammates and coach expectations. What do they want to get out of these 10 weeks is really important for us, and we're going to try our best to accomplish as many of those goals as possible. So, yes, there are for sure player and coach expectations. Winning isn't at the forefront of those expectations, but competing is, and developing as time goes on this summer is as well. That's really all we can ask for.
Now, we've also tried to get information from their coaches to see what their coaches have to offer, things they'd like the players to work on, because we are only with the players for a 10-week period. We do not have that many training moments, and the last thing we want to do is have any kind of influence, try to change things drastically from a player who's been working on something, because that takes time. So our main goal is to assist, to listen, offer advice. Some keys fit some doors, some don't. And as far as the expectation goes, yeah, Zoya said that obviously every time we step on the field, you want to win. I don't think that matters at any level. You compete. And part of the other expectations are just to go out there every day and give our best effort. And we can check the box on that one, because every game we have gone out there and done our best.
No, I think that is totally valid, and to keep in contact with their respective coaches, and I think that's good. That's a lot of good stuff there, guys. And I'm pretty sure the coaches, they really appreciate their girls being outgoing, and not only that, you just, aside from a player standpoint, just the opportunity, to go elsewhere and experience what a different town is like, or what's comparing their hometown of their school to where they're going to be playing for the summer. It's just an opportunity just to kind of explore the world a little bit. You guys feel me there?
Yeah, I agree with that totally. One of the things we didn't mention, I think worth mentioning, is our sincerity and thanks to host families, because that's what also makes this league unique, is that our players are used to college atmosphere, living off campus or on campus in dorms, and now for the 10-week period, although half the time we're on the road, they are brought in by a host family, and the host family has been great. We have the opportunity to have a dinner with all the host families and the players, and it's just really a cool, friendly atmosphere that people are willing to do that. And that's also part of the experience down the road. I think that some of our players will connect in such a way with their host families that might be a lasting relationship that lasts for a very long time. So that's positive.
That is so true, Coach. And, from the grand scheme of things, the host families are the MVPs of this whole process. And even the PA announcer at the Hot Tots games, they always mention the host families. They are the foundation of the league. So you bring up, such a valuable point right there. And, without them, this league wouldn't be anything. And, it takes a lot. It takes a lot of bodies, a lot of support, a lot of courage. So, and like you mentioned, a different living environment. It's good to kind of learn these things. Obviously, not to get too personal, but they're at that age now where they could be starting families down the line, or they have plans to find a boyfriend or a girlfriend, or getting to experience living with a family, and just the value of that. I think there is some value to that, obviously, and just overall perspective, great for the communities to get involved, and the benefits that they get to go to these games too. And from your guys' perspective, how great has been the Minot community in their outreach for you guys?
Um, yeah, we haven't been involved in that as of yet. That's been more of the front office, and I think that's going to come. It's just been a whirlwind 2 weeks, so we haven't been able to accomplish everything. But we see that again when we go to the Hot Tots game, that the community is behind the team, and we're just pretty much convinced that it's going to be the same way as far as softball goes. So we will get to meet those people, and that's exciting too. So it's one step at a time.
Yeah, and it's all about getting into that regular routine, eat, sleep, and waking up, getting ready for practice or for a game that day. And obviously, like I mentioned earlier, you guys are just 5 games into this season, all of them being on the road. Just kind of talk about opening day aside at Corbett Field. What do you guys hope to maybe experience when it's all said and done this whole summer, and you guys go back to your respective home bases or back to work during the school year? From the whole summer, just kind of talk about what do you hope to see at the end, and aside from wins and losses, what do you hope to see or be able to experience?
From a younger coach's perspective, my whole point of coming here this summer was to develop more as well before I can hopefully find a job somewhere else on a different coaching staff at some collegiate program. I like to explain this era of my coaching career as being a sponge. I just want to soak it all in. That was one of the main things that we preached to the players too when we first met them, that yes, we're here to help you, but I think that they can help us just as much become better people and become better coaches. So for that, I'm really grateful. At the end of the season, I hope that I can say that they appreciated my presence and that they appreciated my coaching. And I hope that I could say that I developed more as a coach as well and became better because of the people that I was around, including Coach Craig and our players and all the staff with the Hot Tots and the Honeybees.
That is all great. And like I said, like I was talking earlier, the season, just getting started, but it's not as long as the Hot Tot season, so you never know. It's gonna come and go as it does or as it will. And forgot where I was gonna take with this, but it's all There's going to be a lot to take in, of course, and there's still again plenty of opportunities. And of course, thank you. I want to thank you guys again for being on the show today. Is there anything else you'd like to mention? Obviously, want to tell the fans. I believe it is 6:05 Tuesday evening for the home opener at Corbett Field.
No, we're just excited to return to the Hive and give all those fans the best we've got, and it's going to be exciting, historical, and we'll see where it goes. Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, anything else to add, Zoya?
Oh, thank you so much, Cole, and go Bees. See you on the 25th.
Awesome. Well, we're looking forward to the main event, June 25th, Tuesday evening. The Minot Honeybees set to make their inaugural home debut at Corbett Field. Thank you again to Coach Craig Montvidas and Zoya Robbins. Appreciate you guys having on the show today. We wish you all the best this summer, and again, roll Bees.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, that is all for that, guys. Again, you just heard head coach Craig Montvidas and assistant coach Zoya Robbins from the Minot Honeybees, kind of giving you guys a little down low of this brand new, first of its kind inaugural season with Northwoods League Softball, and more in and around the team, the players, and the coaches from their perspective. I want to thank you guys for listening as always. Again, this is the Minot Sports Podcast. We want to thank KMSU TV and Radio for lending us their studios each and every time we go in to record. Hopefully in the near future, we're going to be recording from the brand new, fully renovated Hartnett Hall Studios, and that'll be coming up here and really quickly, actually. So we look forward to that. But thank you all for tuning in. Again, I'm your host, Cole Klementich, signing off. You guys have a good night. Enjoy some Hot Tots baseball and Honeybees softball this summer. We'll see you on the flip side.